What's up, nerds? Goz Master here with another Magic the Gathering puzzle quest. Today's quest, Teferi Chronoclast. He's the new PMA walker from the blue spellbook, and we're going to be covering him today. First off, as always, I appreciate you, Oktagon. Thank you guys so much for early access to this Planeswalker. I've been playing with him for a bit. He is a very interesting Planeswalker. He takes a little getting used to. So ultimately, what you can do, whether or not you should get him for IRL money, based on my suggestions, or what I would or would not. All right, so that said, I'm going to seek to do three things here. Really spotlight his abilities, how to be able to maximize those, but in addition to that, talk about the strengths and the weaknesses of the actual walker himself. There are plenty of blue decks out there that can abuse him, especially in Legacy, but in Standard is going to be my main focus, and I'm going to be talking about the overall synergy with the cards that are in Standard right now. With that said, let's jump right into it. Teferi Chronoclast has 92 life. Immediately, one of the key performance indicators here, I like to have over 105 to 115 is a really good life total. 120 plus is really great, and 130 plus is OMG, pretty fantastic. This falls in the category of, oh man, 92 life. It hasn't yet been an issue for me in playing with him because of the strength of blue and some of the synergy and control that you can have. However, I know from experience, especially playing in events, 92 life, especially if you're getting into those later nodes where you're just about done with wrapping up the event, like the last 3 to 4 charges in an event, you usually catch one that just catches all of the luck, all of the cascades, all of the cards, and you're pitted up against this monstrous deck. And sometimes that extra 20 life can make the difference between you winning and not winning. So bear that in mind before you choose Mr. Chronoclast here and go venture into the dungeons and the arenas. So that said, let's look at his static ability. When your opponent casts a card, if that is a blue card, gain 2 mana. Otherwise, deny 1 gem. So this is their improved gems for this set, for Teferi specifically. That was the chair. And in his case, what he's going to do is he's going to enhance one of the gems there. When you match it, you get the additional abilities. We'll talk about those here. I just love the name of his first ability. 7 loyalty for nope. 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 Deny 4 gems. Increase the cost of all cards in your opponent's hand by 2. Okay, so a little slowing down, a little control, a little nuisance there for Greg, who I don't think gets very upset if you do those things to him. But maybe he does. I don't know. What is deny? When you create a denial gem, your opponent gains denied, so they get a little flag on their face. When a denial gem is matched, if a denied player matched it, so if the person that's in denial, right, not just a river down in Egypt, I think, when they match that gem, restrain that player. They then become restrained. Otherwise, create a time bubble token. Denial gems count as improved gems. So much going on here, but let me kind of briefly explain the chronological timeline of this. You do this, you deny some gems, they immediately get flagged with denied. They're denied. Denied. Nope. And they match one of those blue gems. Greg, the AI, matches one of the blue gems or one of the gems that you have denied on or denial on. They then get restrained, and restrained is -1 to their all color bonuses, right? It does not go below 0, it goes to 0, it does not go lower than 0. And denied gems count as improved gems, restrain that player, yada yada. All right, anti-clockwise for 12 loyalty, create an anti-clockwise token, convert 7 gems to blue, gain X mana, X is the number of blue gems. This is phenomenal. I love this. This is almost as good as Kasmina's secondary ability. Nuke the board essentially with blue gems. You get a ton of mana. Your loyalty is because your mana gains are 6+ in blue. You gain a ton of stuff. It works very, very well to fill your hand with mana, at least 2 to 3 cards. Sometimes all of them, depending on how lucky you get in the matching, just like Kasmina. Third ability is 19 loyalty back to turn 0. Each player discards all cards with mana that can be discarded from their hand. You draw X cards, deny X gems, restrain X times. Each card in your hand gains X mana. X is the number of cards discarded this way. That means I can restrain them multiple times and they get multiple minuses. Now, the reason I'm saying it this way, normally I like to come to you guys with, this is the way it works, I play tested it, this is how you do it, this is how you break it. I know it's synergy, but I haven't been able to figure out the synergy as well as I'd like to. More importantly, I haven't really been able to figure out how to break that synergy to really stop my opponent and to lock down and control. Now, when I originally read this in the spoilers when Oktagon released this, I was under the impression that this was something that I was able to go and take dominant control of my opponent, and when I got to my third, pretty much lock things down, similar to Bolas 2, his flip side, his third ability. They can't draw any more cards. This was, you can draw whatever you'd like, but you're going to be having negative mana bonuses, or you're going to be, so much more costing per card. I thought it was going to do all this other stuff. So far it doesn't, as far as I can see. It does slow them down, but it doesn't stop them. And the challenge with that approach, I like the approach in theory, but the challenge with that in actual practical application is Greg, the AI, cascades like a mother... That guy gets so much mana coming into him that I could give him no mana bonuses. I can give him negative mana bonuses, and dude is still going to fill his hand with mana with a couple of lucky swaps. So, also based on the power of how many Moxes are in the meta right now, or if we're playing in Legacy, never mind Omni, there's just the slowing down, or the denying of mana, or the kicking out of cards, even discard. All of those need to be combined into a super Teferi that can do those things. I'll talk more about that as we play, but this third ability for me is somewhat of a miss unless those things restrain. The other thing that's a miss for me in this third ability is each card in your hand gains X mana. X is the number of cards discarded this way. Is that just your cards, or is that your opponent's cards as well? I don't know. I'm under the impression it's my cards, and if I'm ditching my cards, then the max I can get is 6 per card, which makes this not as good as Mordenkainen's, which gives every card that you get like half mana. The better part of this, and the reason why this is actually slightly better than Mordenkainen's third ability, is that these actually do draw, so that triggers Wizard class. So it's kind of a moot point as long as Wizard class is in meta, in standard, and as a result, when I do draw those cards, they gain mana, and if they're spells, obviously they gain the mana, and we do all the things, we win all the games, we take all the turns, we do all of the stuff. We will return to this here shortly. In the meantime, let's talk about his mana gains. +3 to black and white, which is great. -3 to red, negligible to green, and +6 to blue. So it's not the +7 that we've had with Johnny and some of the others. I understand for this one, and even for green if they do that, I'll spotlight that at another time, because there's so much Wizard class, right? Like Wizard class and discounting and free, full mana in blue. I think per capita there's more in blue than any other card set. So because of that, they get a slight handicap. Not much, but it's +6 instead of 7. It does matter, though, when there's a lot of casting cost cards that cost 10. So when you have 10 and you can only match one blue match, that's enough to cast a 10 casting cost card. You know what I'm trying to say. That said, this is a very interesting Planeswalker, but how does he actually play Goz? That's a great question. Let's get to the Pauper build. Good evening. If we're going to talk about Pauper builds, you know what we're going to start with. Blue's the king of Wizard class right now in Standard. Pretty powerful. Love it. It's a crux for any blue deck. Now, what you may not be aware of is Umara the Mystic, or Umara Mystic. 10 mana for a flying 2/4 creature merfolk wizard. This has wizardry. Now, this creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Then, if the cast card is a wizard, draw a card. Otherwise, deal 2 damage to your opponent's planeswalker. And then this guy, Prismari Apprentice, 8 mana for a 2 Magecraft 3/3 human shaman. Magecraft 2, this creature gains unblockable until end of turn. Not that big a deal, but when you cast a spell card with base cost 12 or greater, this creature gets +2/+2. So, Eureka Moment is the draw. Mentor's Guidance, real good synergy, really powerful card. Golden Ratio, I don't know if I featured this one before. 8 mana, draw a card for each card with a creature subtype. You control, those cards gain 3 mana, so if you have 2 creatures on the board, you're drawing 2 cards. It's really just a draw, a cheap draw. 7 mana, Behold Multiverse, draw 2 cards. If this card was foretold, those cards gain 3 mana. Contact Other Planes, 7 mana, roll a d20. Lots of stuff. It's a draw, it's fetch, it's do the things. Turn to Pumpkin was the best bounce spell in blue. That's out of Standard right now. So what we have is Dissipate, 9 mana, drain 12 mana from your opponent's hand. Then if the first card in your opponent's hand has 0 mana, exile that card. Now the reason that's important is because this one, 6 mana, Depart the Realm. If your opponent has 5 or less cards in hand, that's the condition. And if that's the case, if that's not being met, or if they have a full hand, then these cards just sit in your hand and they don't do anything. So Let's go put my 92 life up against Koth and see who's the better mono walker. All right. Here we go, right out the gate. We're going to ditch Depart the Realm, put it on the board, make room in our hand. We're going to go ahead and use Eureka Moment. Golden Ratio doesn't do anything for us right now. And we're going to go blue. Give him a 5-swap right away, but we draw 2 cards. We get some conversion. That's good. I'll take that. That's nice and solid. He didn't take the 5-drop, so I guess I'll just have to take it. Thank you very much, Kothy boy. Apparently you're too good for that, huh? Okay, I see how you is. All right, let's go there. We've got a double 5-drop. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Everything is excellent. Everything is awesome. Everything is wonderful when you're running the beat. Bounce that card to his hand. Control. Teferi, Master of Control. We're going to use our first ability here. Deny 4 gems. Increase the cost of all cards in your opponent's hand by 2. So we're going to go ahead and push that one. We're going to deny the gems. Those cost more. And if we hit these, let's see. You can see right now that that's his condition. He's denied. There can't be more than 1 player with denied at the same time. When your opponent gains denied, you lose denied. Interesting. So if we were playing each a Teferi Chronoclast, then if I had denied, he'd lose denied. Very, very interesting. So we're going to go here and match this gem. Boom. That puts this token down here on the board, as you saw. And none of his statuses have changed, but we're gaining all kinds of stuff here. I don't even know what's happening right now. I didn't look at what card I drew or what I cast. I'm doing more damage with Umara and just doing all the things. Let's see. Okay, so now he's got denied. He matched one of my gems. So now he's got restrained, rather. When a player is restrained, their non-blue mana bonuses get -1 until the end of their next turn. So if we push on him, he's got -1 to white, -1 to blue, and he's got -1 to, or so instead of 9 in red, he's got 8. Let's see if this stacks. Let's see if this stacks. Now this token is a time bubble. So many things, I know. Support card enchantment. When this support is destroyed, if it's your turn, drain 3 mana from your opponent's hand. Otherwise, your opponent discards the first card with mana from their hand. So if it's your turn, we're taking mana out of their hand. If it's their turn, your opponent discards the first card with mana from their hand. Then they're discarding a card. But he's not probably going to match the blue, and I don't see a way that I could do it either. So let's see what we got in here. Let's go ahead and depart the realm. Put that on the board. Let's go ahead and behold the multiverse. Gets that some stuff. We're going to go ahead and do these here. Got a 5-swap with black, so let's do that. So we got another depart the realm. Boom, boom. We want to get those wizard classes on the board. Look at this. Just synergy. Just pure synergy. Pure synergy. All right, we're going to put these. This we're going to go ahead and throw from hand, put it on the board because we already have one that's ready to go. And we don't want to have too many in hand. I can do this. Boom, 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 boom. Nice cascade, bro. Cascade like Greg, Cascade like Greg. Someone's calling me. All right. So we're continuing to run. We're casting spells as we do. We're shooting him in the face for 2. And let's go check him out and see if he's got... I guess we'll have to wait till my next turn and see if by triggering any of those gems... Can I select him? I cannot. Yeah, let's pick a card. Let's do a spell. Oh, yeah, let's do that one. So we can remove some stuff from hand, drain some mana, playing ultimate control here, making stuff cost more, draining stuff from him that he does have mana for, discarding cards if they're at 0, bouncing creatures back to hand, you know, mass hysteria, just insanity, all kinds of shenanigans. Here we go. Cool. All right. To the face, and then he drops back down to a 6/12. Still pretty powerful. Look at that. Still casting cards, still getting conversions, still, no matter how much we slowed him down, he's still doing all of his things and laying waste to our creature. It's interesting. Yeah. All right, so let's go look at what he's got mana-wise. He's back up to his full mana. I mean, that thing left right away, regardless of everything else we did. Let's throw that out to the yard. Let's get some more creatures on the board. And yeah, let's try to dissipate here. And we're going to use our secondary ability. Let me show you this one. Create an anti-clockwise token. We're going to do that. Gets a conversion. We trigger some blues. That happens. We take the mana from his hands. Pretty much fills our entire hand. Great, great ability. I love it. Let's see, what's this? This is another time bubble. So let's go ahead and demonstrate. We're going to take some mana from his hand. That happened there. And we haven't restrained him yet again. But we're pretty far ahead. He's way behind. He's ditched some cards. Not enough cards. But it is what it is. Now he's restrained again. Let's see if that's just all of his things. So the challenge is, oh, look at that. It does stack. It brought him all the way back down to a 1. Okay, so it does stack. Good. But the challenge is, and it does bring him down to a -1 in non-blue. Why isn't it impacting then the black and white ones? That's interesting. That's really, really interesting. Okay, that makes it better. That definitely makes it better for sure. Let's do golden ratio. And let's do deny gems here again. Let's get some conversion going. None, not enough. Go black here, red. No, no blue. Okay, let's see what he's got. All right, let's go see what his mana bonuses are now. Oh, he's all the way back up to +9. Like, that was super quick. He lost that really, really quickly. So it must be only on your turn when that happens. Yeah, let's get Umara out. Let's go here. Let's try to get into our third ability. We drain some mana from his hand. We're just doing damage here. Powering up. There we go. Swing finally for 11. And we're down by 8 points of damage we've taken. He's using his full red mana. Uh-oh, look at this. He's using her. That is a brutal card. All right, we need to bounce her. We have plenty of bounce. We got lots of bounce for that. Let's go. Shuffler's not fine, guys. I keep drawing into a bunch of stuff that I just don't have a lot of those in my deck. I got 3 non-spell cards, and all I've got in hand were a bunch of all of those cards. Very, very interesting. All right, so we bounce that, do the damage, nothing else to bounce. You know what I didn't do? Silly me. I didn't lock down my card. So as a result, I'm going to take another 14 points of damage for no reason. I should have muted down my secondary bounce. I haven't played with that card in so long that I just haven't been messing with it, and I've been looping so hard with Wizard class that I've not been managing it. So here's the real deal. This is what you do. You mute that down. It has flash so that it can do all the things. And I still haven't drawn a spell card. This is insane. This is insane. Come on, Oktagon, I love you guys, but the shuffler needs an update, man. This is not, it's not working very well. All right, so that powers up. I win. We took a lot of damage, took about half our life. Could have gotten hairy there. Could have gone south really, really quickly, but you know, we wound up working out. You see how it works. You also see how quickly your opponent can get their mana bonuses back. Neat that we could take the Koth all the way down from 9 to -1, but that's essentially, like, I haven't seen it go much more negative than that. Plus, I also think it might not be, it's supposed to be all non-blue cards. All non-blue mana bonuses are reduced, but whatever. Okay, that said, let's go show you my peasant build. All right, let's get to our peasant build. This is it, Temporal Adept. We're going to be featuring a lot of the cards for the PMA Blue. These are all the rares. Temporal Adept is actually really good. 15 mana, human wizard, 1/1. When a support you control is destroyed, return target creature your opponent controls to its owner's hand if you can't restrain. So if you can't put them into the hand, then you will restrain them and they actually lose the mana bonuses. Teferi's Wavecaster, 16 mana for some time bubbles, 3/3. Creature, Merfolk, Wizard. When this creature enters the battlefield, pick one of the first 4 cards from your library, fetch that card. If it's an artifact or Vanguard card, deny 3 gems. Otherwise, then you restrain. So we're going to be holding them with our control. Teferi's Puzzle Box, 14 mana with mana field. Support card, artifact, mana field, discard all cards without mana from your hand, then draw that many cards. If there are 5 or less denied gems, deny 2 gems. Otherwise, the first 3 cards without mana of your hand gain X mana. X is the number of denied gems. So we want to flood the board with the denials. Counter Clash, 12 mana blue spell. Your opponent discards the first card with mana from their hand. Then the first card in your hand with the same card type in the as the last card in your opponent's graveyard gains full mana. I like full mana. Unfortunately, this sits in your hand if they don't have a card with mana in it, so we want to go from there. Teferi's Response, 12 mana. Drain 6 mana from your opponent's hand. Then your opponent discards the first card without mana from their hand. Deny 3 gems. A little expensive for that. We're powering all of this with Wizard class, some draw from Tales of the Ancestry, Graven Lore, Winged Portent, which is dependent on having creatures on the board, and a little Talent of the Telepath to smooth out our draws. This is not a competitive over-the-top build. This is something that I have found that is pretty functional for the most part, and it really is all dependent on you maximizing the denial, the control of your opponent, the slow of your opponent. All right, so let's take ourselves up against Domri, the Chaos Bringer. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We've got Teferi's Wavecaster, and we want to go try to find Wizard class as quickly as possible. Let's go here, boom. And there's a 5 swap, so we'll take that. And we're going to go ahead and use our first ability right away. You definitely want to spam that first ability where you can until you get to your second, because it will slow them down a bit, enough to get you into your main stuff you're going to be doing. Let's see if we can get ourselves a blue. Nope. We can do this. We're going to grab a Wizard class, because that's ultimately what we're looking for to fuel our draw spells. Our drawn spells? Our drawdy spells? Something like that. Good, I see blue. Let's do what we came to do. And let's get Graven. We actually want to get him on the board right away. I think we're going to take this. All right. Late night. Man, some of these videos, like I really want to get these out to you guys on a regular basis. And the challenge is lately I've had, one of the things I do in IRL is I do a lot of Facebook marketing for businesses, and one of my biggest clients right now, the company I'm working with, is basically helping them run their advertising, is essentially driving in 2022 from about almost $200,000 in ad spend a month, and we're looking to push to $1 million a month by the end of the year. So I'm having to tear down entire things and build them all the way back up. For entire processes of what we're doing to expand their teams. Why I'm telling you this is because it's freaking hard at times to be able to do for folks when we're really trying to grow these things out. So that crazy schedule, especially after the beginning of the new year, is really what's keeping me from putting out the content like I really want to. The good news is once we have the systems in place, I should be able to kick out a couple of videos at least a week, which is really my focus. So my commitment right now is to get at least one video out each week. I'm spotlighting what we have, especially with the stuff that's sponsored by Oktagon specifically. So really appreciate that, guys, and I'm really working on getting the content out. So I appreciate your patience in the silliness that is a rabid, crazy schedule. All right, we want to get our Inept on the board, or our Adept on the board, whatever he is. And it looks like we're going to do that with our Cascade. Yay. And we want to ramp into our secondary ability where we can. We don't need 2 of those, I don't think. We would like to remove the first card in their hand. Black. Let's go there. Good. Got a landfall. When this creature enters the battlefield, pick one of the first 4 cards from your library. Fetch that card. If this is an artifact or Vanguard card, deny 3 gems. Otherwise, restrain. Now, I did this a bit ago, and it's bugged. So let's see if it works this time. I'm going to confirm. I'm going to grab Wizard class, select, and put it in hand. Okay, that time it worked. I did it before, and it didn't seem to do the deal beforehand. So it's working. Maybe it was just me pushing the wrong button. If you guys are running that card and you find yourself you have an issue, I'd be curious to let me know in the comments below. Whoa, 22, where did that come from? All right, so now that my Temporal Adept is on the board, I need to start popping some gems here. You see these? We want to get rid of their critters as quick as we can. We want to put this here. So we're going to pop this, boom. So that's going to trigger the Adept. We're going to put that back in hand. Thank you very much. We're also going to put that back in hand. Now, the trick there, I did that backwards. What you really want to do is you want to get rid of, if you have enough gems you've popped, you want to remove their tokens first, because that doesn't put anything back in hand, and then do their non-token creatures or permanents back to the hand because they've got room for it. Very important. He does not return stuff. Like, they got him out again in one turn. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. But that's okay. We have plenty of tokens on the board. And we're going to try to pop some of these bad boys. Let's go ahead and use our first ability.
Nope.
And we've got one right here. Boom. We're going to go ahead and put him back on the board because he gains mana. I don't mind taking a little bit of damage, not like 22 like they were doing a second ago. And we're chewing away at his abilities here. We've got to get moving, though. We've got to get our control on the board more. Let's see. Yeah, he took that power. It's only for one turn, but it is a thing. All right, so we're going to ditch this and this and this and this here. Boom. See if we can get both of these out. Not quite. All right. There it is. Let's see what we got. He's got enough conversion. He's getting a lot of conversion. He's going to get stronger here. I'm going to have to get rid of him. And there's no room in hand now, so maybe I should have cut him. But it would have just put him back on the board, and they would have had a bigger token in addition to that. So pick your packs. Pick your paths for sure. Here, we should be able to return him to hand. Let's go. See ya. We've got card draw. We're powering up our creature. That's the other side. That's the other benefit of Wizard class, is that every time you draw a card, I think it's the first 3 times per one of those, your first creature gets +1/+1. So it makes a massive difference, man. All right, there's some more draw. We're going to go ahead and confirm. We want to get more Wizard class. Now we're going to go Gravenlore, actually. Yes, we're going to go Wizard class this time. And we're going to hope we can nickel and dime our way through this. I had another version of this build, and I swapped out, I forget his name. It was one of the ones that every time you make a blue or a green match, it reinforces the creature. Instead of Teferi Wavecaster, I made the decision last second, like, well, let me feature and spotlight all of the, all of these guys and see all of the PMA stuff and see if that makes a easier for me to spotlight all of the things so you can see them, frankly. And it's not a good combination. Again, not a very great deck, but we're gonna. The first ability really matters, man. The first and second ability are really good mana gainers. They're just, I don't know if that they're strong enough on their own to actually do enough to win a match, though, especially if you're behind. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's actually try to get that out there. No, we want to go higher than that. Up here. In fact, I'm going to ditch that bad boy. We don't need that. We do. Let's go there. We're going to get rid of you because you're way too big. Going to beef up my boy here. See how much beefier he can get. All right, there's a test of strength. I don't know what the name of that card is. Test of might, I think it is what it is. All right, so we're taking mana from their hand that's being gained. He's going to do 4 points of damage to us, but we're going to get rid of him here soon. We're going to pop another gem here shortly, I'm sure. And have we restrained him? No, we haven't. He is denied, but he is not restrained currently. But as you start to get later game, mid to late game, and you have your wizard classes on the board, you really start to do a lot more in game that allows you to maintain that control. It's just kind of a slog. He doesn't have, in his abilities, he doesn't have anything that just allows you to, he doesn't have anything that allows you to just take over a game and go, right? And as a result, you wind up having to nickel and dime your way up until you get your creatures big enough to go deal with them. Unfortunately, Domri doesn't have a lot of removal that he can really rely on to deal with me. However, there is a 5 match of white on the board. Let's see if he takes it. Nope, not anymore. It's gone. The conversion happened. He used it as ability. Okay, they destroyed a support. We get to get rid of that guy. Yay, he's restrained now. Apparently, we popped 2 of our gems as a result of that, and that allows us to restrain him. And he is at probably just -1. Yeah, so he's normally +4 there. He's now he's just +2, which is good because that's going to limit him for a minute. And let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go get some more of these out. We want to keep our gems popping so we can get a lot more of these supports on the board, these little 1-token supports, because every time we pop them, he gets a -1 to his loyalty ability, which slows him down. So speaking of which, boom, we're going to say -1, -1, -1, -1. So that's -4 there to his next mana bonuses on the next turn. And with no mana in hand and no creatures on the board, we start to take control of the match. I would recommend, and probably what I would have thrown in here instead of Test of Talent would be Search the Vastland or Explore the Vastlands. So I could mana ramp up to where I need to. As it is right now, this isn't fast enough to get up to my loyalty abilities. They're actually a little pricey. They're a little pricey for what we're trying to do here. There's that. He's restrained a couple more times. 3. We're going to go ahead and go Test of Talent. Let's get Winged Portent. Yep, let's do it. Oh, actually, we don't have any flying creatures, so I shouldn't have done that. I should have waited till it was full, and then I would have drawn 3 cards. Again, if you're running something like Alrund's Epiphany and you have flying creatures, that would be something that would do real well. And you can see now, does that take his stuff away? He's still restrained. Let's see what he's at. -1, I think, right now. So let's see if we can't do some more. Okay, let's do our first ability. Boom. Let's do that. Let's get some supports on the board. And Old Gnawbone is kind of an easy one to throw in here. Anything that puts tokens on the board so that every time you're popping a token with Adept, you're able to just restrain, and just put massive negatives or massive minuses to their mana bonuses. So they're really not able to do much, and you're keeping things off the board. And we're going to pop some gems here and get rid of that guy. And let's go here. Boom. Oh, I can't put him in hand because there's no room, see? So what happens is I restrain him even further, but I'm going to exile a card out of hand, I think. I'm going to take the mana out of it. It should make room in his hand. There it goes. So now he's got room in his hand. So now if he pops one of my gems on my turn, he's got Berserk, so he's going to throw himself against my Adept. Hopefully he doesn't kill it. But there's room in hand. Oh, they're not in room in hand now. And so he's restrained further. That's a 13, 13, 15, 15. I didn't kill him. That stinks. That's the problem with bounce. This does not read when it, return target creature to your opponent's controls to its owner's hand. If you can't restrain, I would read that more instead of, it's going to not do it because it doesn't say, it's not, the 5 cards or less in hand is implied. It's not stated though, and that's unfortunate. That keeps it from being a great card or a very useful card in a proper build. This is not, again, a proper build. This is just something. When this creature on his board, let's take this. Let's go here. Boom. Boom. All right, so he's down to 18. Let's see if I can eke a victory out here. Depends on what he does on this turn. So again, you're taking a pounding, but it is something that does the deal. He's going to get some mana here. Okay, look at that. Cool. There it is. We get to demonstrate on his turn. It is controlled that no matter who triggers the support, as long as one of your supports is getting destroyed and Adept is on the board, you get to send it back to hand. It's a fun little form of control if you build it right. I'd be curious to see your guys' builds when you guys put it together. You can do it pretty much with any mono blue walker, or any blue walker really, that you use this creature with. But like a green blue, like with a Casmina maybe, he'd be a good little control element. There's a better creature that does it, but we'll worry about that in another build. I have a spotlight I'm going to be doing here soon. Lots of spotlights I want to do for you guys. And with that said, that should be game. Let's see, we're going to actually use our secondary ability because I like it so much. And we're going to just zap, get all the manas. We're going to go here, boom. We got a 5 swap ready for the next turn, but that is game. Bit of a slog, but you get to see how Adept works. Not really definitely featuring him, but really spotlighting the strength of Teferi, the Chronoclast, in a way that shows and spotlights his ability to slow down your opponent. It can make the difference. It's not overly powerful, but it is functional if you want to keep things interesting for yourself. And I argue there's probably some better builds that you can master with in standard that allow you to do it. But that's not my mythic build. Let me show you that. All right, so here we go. Here's our mythic build. I'm at the home office on a rare opportunity to be able to talk about some stuff because there's nobody here right now. Let's go. All right, so Wizard class is how we do the things. However, Wizard class is the most powerful card in blue right now, in my opinion, more powerful than Mox and anything else. I know, sacrilegious. However, with the mana it does, along with draw, it's awesome. The most powerful draw card I find in standard right now is Manifold Insights, 9 mana. It is a masterpiece. Roll a d20. At the very least, you draw 2 cards. 6 to 10, draw 2 cards. Those cards gain 6 mana. 11 through 15, those cards gain half their mana, which might be less than 6. And 16 to 20, those cards gain full mana. That 16 to 20 happens more often than you think. Very powerful when you draw Wizard class against full mana, hits the board, you get more mana. Very synergistic. Another one that I actually have not played with a lot, and I think is actually I've overlooked, is Seagate Restoration. 16 mana, land forming, drop to 5 cards, and for each card that you can't draw this way, you gain 2 loyalty. So it is something that's added into the deck. Of course, we're going to use Temporal Adept. It's the one rare, I think, in this deck that we're running right now because of its ability to kind of control the board. So we're going to continue on the theme with Teferi Chronoclast. And in addition to that, we're going to add Prognostic Sphinx. 15 mana, 3/5 Sphinx. When this creature enters the battlefield, all token supports you control lose 1 shield. Then draw a card, it gains X mana. X is 3 times the amount of time bubble supports that were destroyed this way. So obviously you want to spam the board with all your bubbles. And in addition to that, you're going to wind up drawing a single card and then it gains mana as a result of it. So in addition to that resourceful 3, this creature gains hexproof until the beginning of your next turn, restrained. Whenever you draw a card, if that card is not the first card you drew this turn, trigger this effect. So when you're drawing cards with this deck especially, or with a Wizard class style deck, you're restraining your opponent 3 times. That's keeping them locked down as you're continuing to do your thing. Ingenious Mastery, this is not a great card for draw, 6 mana. It's just mythic, that's why I threw it in here. It's kind of a flex. In blue, the challenge that blue faces right now is there's not lifelink, life gain, and there's not a lot of removal. However, the best removal card, the best control card for creatures inside of blue right now, and red, frankly, is Magma Opus. This card is a beast. 18 mana. It has flash and cycling. What is important is then disable each opposing creature until the beginning of your next turn. Then draw 2 cards. Those cards gain half of their mana in addition to the Wizard class stuff. So that's all really good, but you know what I want to do? What's really spotlighting, what's really powerful inside of this set right now? All the swaps. Temporal Mastery, 8 mana for a spell card. When you're in your hand at the beginning of your turn, if it's night, this puppy's free. This card gains full mana. Otherwise, if it's day, all cards in your hand gain 2 mana. So we're gaining mana no matter what. Either 8 for this to be free or 2 mana for all the cards in your hand. Sassy.
Did somebody say sassy?
Gain an extra swap. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day. So then when it becomes day, yeah, you get all the mana and stuff in addition to that. It's pretty fun. I like it. It's very nice. I got it at Sears. It's very nice. And then Time Walk PMA, 15 mana for a Mana Field support card. Mana Field, gain an extra swap, then deny 3 gems. So this really plays into the control of Teferi. And then, of course, the ultimate flex inside of this process for the Mythic build is my baby Smock Sapphire. I'm adding another jewel to my Infinity Gauntlet. I've got one more to go. Let's do it. All right, lady, let's see what you've got. Time Walk PMA. Let's actually do Seagate Restoration right away. And the reason I want to do that, oh man, this is an interesting conundrum here. What do I play? What is my colors? Black and white are good to me. Let's go here. See if that's a more mana gaining thing. Don't mind drawing the card and then drawing the rest of these cards with that. Let's actually mute that down. And this is the one time I'm going to err on the side of getting the stuff, getting the enhanced gems to make that influential. So we've gained some mana, we've got it up there. We're going to go ahead and start spamming our first ability right away. I want to keep her locked down as quickly as possible, as much as possible. So she is denied. But is she restrained? Is she full in hand now? Let's go here. Let's go here. And let's spam our first. Nope. Deny 4 gems. Wang. Oh, there's blue up there. Boom, I didn't see that. Okay, so we get the gems on the board. We got our mocks on the board. And we've got all kinds of great things going. Although we've taken some damage here. All right, so what do we want out now? We want Temporal Adept out. So let's get that out. Actually, I think I want to take extra swaps next turn. So let's get that out first. Let's go green. Cool. And it goes without saying, if you're playing Mox and you have colorless cards or cards that are not blue, if you have this blue, you want to put those in first position, power them up first with the mana itself, because the Mox itself will fuel your first blue card in hand. We definitely want Wizard class. That is what all the things are. Now, let me show you a trick. So our deal is here, right? If we click that, that is the Mox Sapphire. So if there is a way to get this, the way the process works for Mox, if you don't have a Mox, I make a match. I gain the mana. Then the trigger for the Mox happens, which fuels my card that is not full mana. It goes to the next card and fills it up. So I'm going to match a blue. I'm going to power up my Manifold Insights. I'm then going to get all the mana to my Wizard class. So we go click, boom, top one goes, second one gets full power. Manage your resources. And we rolled an 18, so this card's full. That's another Mox. I think, let's say, what was that? Or not a Mox, but a Wizard class. Do I have two Wizard class? Two Wizard class on the board. Look at that. And a 5 match. So let's go ahead and let's try to get Adept on the board. Actually, we have enough to do this. Let's get this bad boy out because we want to start drawing some cards. We don't need 2 of you. We want to draw all the cards we can. So boom, let's go the 5 match. Maybe we take over from here. Maybe this is the last turn they get to take. Let's see. We're taking mana from their hands. You can draw the cards. We don't care. We really don't care. We gain the Wizard class stuff, and I get him on the board. Now, there's no room in hand now, so I can't bounce their creature back to the board. But you know what? We can't bounce it back to their hand. I don't care. We don't care. We're going to clear the board with Magma Opus. That card is a beast. Best blue creature control, board control in the game. If you're not playing it in your Wizard class decks, and you have it in your decks, and you have it, you definitely want to run it. Got 2 extra turns. If we haven't already used our first ability, we're not going to. We're going to wait till we get to our secondary ability. But right now, we want to... What do we want to run? We don't need any of that. We want to get this out, and we want to draw cards. So we're going to get rid of you. The Temporal Adept is such low power. I really wish it was stronger than that, or it had a way to get stronger besides Wizard class doing its thing. Let's do this. So we're going to do that swap. Boom. We're going to convert more tokens. Oh, synergy. I forgot to talk about. When you run Magma Opus, what winds up happening is you create some artifact tokens too, the artifact creatures, and every time a new artifact enters the board, it gets +1/+1 as a result of that. So, synergy. Let me show you this creature. It's an air elemental prowess. So whenever this ability triggers, whenever you cast a non-creature card, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So every time we cast a new card that is a non-creature card, it gets +1/+1. Right now, that's not that big a deal. Let's actually do this. You want to see some funny stuff? Let's get rid of that. Let's go here. Boom. And that's the card we drew. Come on, Ming. That's not what we wanted. All right. Well, let's get the bigger creature out on the board. We do have our secondary ability. We're going to do that. Boom. Convert some gems. Get some conversion. Make it happen. Fill our hand up with as much mana as we possibly can. We're going to go for another 5 swap. We're going to gain more stuff. And we're up to our secondary ability again, so we can use it on the next turn. Yeah, baby. Temporal Mastery, let's take another swap, shall we? Let's take all of the swaps. Now, the challenge is we don't have haste. There's no real functional haste inside of the game right now. So there's no reason for me to take another turn. I'm going to lock that down right now, and I'm going to go here, boom, make some more, withdraw some stuff from them. Let's see what their, I wonder what their mana bonus is right now. Whatever it is, they got enough to get this card out. Okay, whatever. That's fine. We're going to get rid of it. Let's go ahead and get into, let's ramp into our third ability here. Let's go, boom. Take an extra swap. We got into our third. So we should have 2 swaps now. We're drawing Manifold Insights. I think this build is, again, not a perfect build. It needs more draw. Temporal Adept would come out. I'd put something else stronger in. It's just a way for us to do it. And if we control the board and break some stuff, which we're going to do here, another thing too is if we're using our third ability, I think we're going to be waiting here a minute while this goes. Let me do a silent treatment here and speed into the next one because it's going to take a minute. Okay, so we got 3 extra swaps here. I'm going to go ahead and put another wizard class on the board. I want to get my bigger creature out. We don't need you. We don't need you. So we've got plenty to draw there. And I am going to wait on using my third ability because I want to make sure I'm going to go into a point where I have a hand full of stuff and I want to draw a bunch of cards into my hand. So let's go here, boom. 2 extra swaps, and we want to do this. Let's go here. We got a 5 swap. All right, so now we have a hand full of permanents. It's like, this is too many, dude. I really want to cast those creatures because it'll help me win faster. However, so this is a criticism I have. I don't really like his third ability. And the reason I don't like his third ability is because I want to take cards that I don't have, that don't have any mana, dump them because they don't fit the build of this or the purpose of this. But if I use it now, I'm taking cards that have mana out of my hand and drawing 2 cards. That ain't it. That ain't doing the thing I want it to do. It's giving all my cards something, and it's giving them, you know, that so that their mana bonuses are down to whatever. I'm not pleased with that third ability at all. I don't find it functional. I don't think it's going to work really well in strong events. Like I wouldn't be confident to take that ability as my, you know, I need to win with this ability. So for what it's worth, you know, if you're planning on picking this up, again, it's a lot of fun for what it does. I got 1 extra swap here, but at the same time, I'm a little skeptical about how well it's going to perform under pressure in, you know, game event situations where stuff is on the line. No, we don't want to take end short. And so we've got to 9, and I think we can win in 1 more turn if I have a good cranking deal. I'm going to use my secondary ability. The secondary ability, it's all about the secondary ability. That secondary ability rocks. She's limited. She didn't do anything, right? Let's see. She's still restrained. What is she at? Oh, no, she's not. Okay, so she's back to her full mana bonuses. And we're going to go ahead and toss all of that. My goodness, we don't need any of that. And that. And we're going to draw 4 cards here. And we're going to use our secondary ability. Boom, convert the board, nuke it. Before you use a nuke ability, check for 5 swaps. Make sure you don't have any. I didn't even look because I don't even care. We're right back up to our first ability. And let's go ahead and do this. And see what we can see. That's a Mox Sapphire. I don't need to pop that yet. Do not do this one right here because then it's going to trigger my 5. It's going to, well, actually, it wouldn't waste it. So time bubble though. Let's do that. Boom. I still should have saved it just in case I wanted to match something there to trigger that. But I don't really care. We're gonna get it right here. This is going to be the thing. Okay. We got a long way to go. We got 4 cards to get. Actually, I should have cast the draw cards first because now the spells aren't going to gain mana. We're going to draw 4 cards. We're not going to gain any mana from it. But I do have an extra turn, so I can cast that Manifold card. Oh, there it is. We do get them. Is it 5 we draw? 6? I don't know why we're drawing all the extra cards. But I'll take it. Boom. Get some more mana. I'm up to my third ability again if I need it. My hand's full. Like if his hand was full of mana, that would be great. But you're controlling see, the lack of synergy is that the third ability takes whatever cards they have in hand that have mana and it drops them. The challenge with that is that's a great first ability, but not a third. And the reason because of that is my secondary ability and all of the things that I'm playing towards are pulling mana out of their hand. And as a result, I shouldn't need to drop his cards or the opponent's cards because they don't have any mana in hand. So it doesn't work against them. It only works against you. So it makes no sense in my head. That's not a good, you know, I reserve my decision on it until this moment, trying to find a way to break it. The way I do stuff is I try to figure out ways I can do things that allow me to break it and find the functionality in it. And maybe there are some advantages here that I haven't thought of yet. I'm not seeing them in. I am really not seeing them in this ability. So I would be really curious to know what your thoughts are on that, because the reality is I don't think it's functional. I win, he controls, this does the thing, but it just feels clunky in the way it executes in his loyalty abilities. Let me give you my final thoughts here and let's wrap this puppy up. All right, so is Chronoclast worth the IRL money, and what do I think of him? Here are my final thoughts on him. I like him. He's fun. Okay. You on the money side, this is one of those coin flip ones. This is going to really come down to your preference of play. I like to win quickly. I like speedy winnings. I like completing my objectives and then having a way to win instantly. And the reason I say that is because I have played too many games. Let me kind of give you some perspective into my perspective as to this perspective that newer players I think have when they come to this. If you're watching this, you're either A, hey dude, is he OP? Can I go win with him right out the gate? Am I gonna have a lot of fun just dominating my opponents? He doesn't play that way to me. It's a slower play style. It's a more controlled play style. I love control. I do not mind playing slower control builds. I am a control player at heart. For his control, it's not full control. It's more slow down your opponent. You saw with Nissa Worldwaker, her mana bonuses and the things that she can do in green conversion, it didn't matter how much of a restriction I put on her, she still got a card or two to hit the board. Probably would have had 5 or 6 and maybe kept her from going off in a huge cycle, but it didn't keep her completely locked down. I like lockdown control. This doesn't do that yet with these cards that we have right now, at least not the way that I've play tested them. Secondarily, I enjoy the ability to creatively stop them from doing the things. It's kind of fun. Where I might really enjoy that would be PvP. I have not played with this walker in PvP. I will be doing that and doing an update later on. However, for right now, I have not done that, but it might be really silly and annoying to do that. I have played some games with another form of control that I do that is so devastating that the opponents are just like, dude, you win. I don't even want to finish playing. It's miserable for them. It's a lot of fun for me. However, I have, gentleman's respect. We don't get any points for that, so I just concede and let them have the victory, but we all know who won. Life totals really matter. This 92 life, especially with this play style, I'm really kind of surprised that they didn't give him 130 life for the approach here. Oktagon, this guy takes a while to set up his control and needs to survive those early games. There were a couple games I played against the Johnny where I won, where Chronoclast won. However, I wasn't sure he was going to get there. So there's that. Event play. There are going to be some events that I think he might matter for. Case in point, like Kraken, the horror Kraken thing, that every time he casts a spell, it bounces something. That's a no-brainer build for him. He's just devastating with that. I think Nalthazar featured that in his video preview. He was much higher on this walker than I am. As far as his abilities are concerned. He is fun. On the fun factor, I really enjoy it. It's kind of my alley of type of walker, but at the end of the day, man, if you need a walker that must win in an event, especially in standard, that you want to make sure you have every advantage you possibly can. Although Chronoclast may be fun, he may not be on the top tier necessary to get it done. For Pauper objectives, I actually like his third for that reason better than a Mordenkainen for mono blue. However, when it comes to control, full control, I really enjoy Master of Time better than this Chronoclast. So I would put this Teferi probably at a level B at best, frankly. He's fun. If he's your playstyle, definitely pick him up because you're going to have a lot of fun watching the denial, watching the opponent just be restrained. And especially if you're going to get the frustration from the PvP player, a lot of fun. You tell me, my friends, what do you think? Is this a walker that you feel is going to be something you want to add to your arsenal? And if so, if you've already picked him up, how are you breaking him? Did I miss on him? Did I not see all of the advantages that he has? Fun, I enjoyed him, and if he's your style, definitely pick him up. If not, it's even worth the 200 or the 300 gold or 250 or whatever it is when he comes into the gold. You have to look at the gameplay. I would highly encourage you to go take a look at some of the other content creators that are spotlighting him right now. Get some other takes on him because they're definitely higher on Chronoclast than I am. Some of them putting him on an S and S plus tiers. I don't know about that, man. I don't see that at all, especially compared to what other blue walkers are in the field. I don't believe it. So at any rate, my friends, I appreciate you. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to spend this time with me here. I truly do appreciate you. And most importantly, as always, like, subscribe, support the channel. Every subscription really does matter. Our subscriptions have gone up in the number of people watching of subscribers versus those that aren't subscribed. So if you're not subscribed and you found any value, you thought my jokes were not too bad and the fart sounds weren't too offensive, a subscription and a bell notification follow would be absolutely fantastic. I appreciate you. And as always, until our next quest, my friends, swords up.